let yourself be still now. There is nothing left for you to do tonight. The day is finished, whatever it held, and it does not need you anymore. You can set it down, the way you would set down something heavy you had carried a long way. Glad to feel your hands open and empty at last. Let your shoulders come down from wherever they have been holding. Let your jaw soften. Let your breath go slow and deep and quiet, like the long, easy breathing of someone already half asleep. Listen, the story I am going to tell you tonight is very old and very gentle, and it asks nothing of you but that you rest. You do not need to remember it. You do not need to follow every word, or keep track of who is who, or hold the thread of it in your mind. The words are only a soft road for you to walk down until sleep comes to meet you, and you are welcome to fall asleep at any time, in any part of the story. Whenever your thoughts drift away from my voice, let them drift. Whenever your mind grows too heavy to follow along, let it grow heavy and let it go. That is exactly what is meant to happen here. Tonight, the story belongs to the moon. To that pale, patient light that has been rising over every roof and every field and every sleeping face for longer than anyone can say. You have looked up at it 1,000 times without thinking much about it. The great quiet lamp of the night. And tonight, I want to tell you who lives there and how she came to be there and why, the old teller said. The moon looks the way it looks, soft and far and a little sad and very kind. For there is a woman on the moon. Her name is Chang'e, and there is a small white rabbit there beside her, the jade rabbit, who keeps her company in the long silver quiet. And far below, on the green earth, there was a man who loved her, an archer named Houyi, who saved the whole world once with his bow, and then lost the one thing he most wished to keep. It is a story of a great and shining deed, and then of a gentle parting, and of a longing that has lasted, the old teller said, ever since. But all of that is gentle. Even the parting is gentle. There is nothing in this story that can trouble you where you lie. Nothing sharp, nothing frightening. It moves the way the moon itself moves across the sky. Slowly, softly, without any hurry at all. So you do not need to brace yourself for anything. You can simply let it carry you, the way the dark carries the moon. And let this be the first soft gift the story gives you tonight. You do not have to do anything with it. You are not being asked to learn a lesson, or to remember a name, or to arrive anywhere by the end. The end of the story is sleep, and that is a place you already know how to reach. A place your body has gone to 10,000 times, and it is waiting for you now. Just a little way down the quiet road of these words. All you have to do is keep breathing, slow and soft, and let the words go by, like the moon going by behind thin clouds. And at some point, without noticing the moment it happens, you will be asleep. That is all. That is the whole of it. So settle in. Feel the weight of your body held by whatever holds you. The bed beneath you, the quiet around you, the dark settling gently over the room. And let us go back now, to a time long ago, to a green and growing world, and to the morning when there was not one sun in the sky, but 10. In the old days, the old teller said, the world was young and the heavens were closer, and the sun was not alone in the sky. There were 10 suns, 10 golden birds. The storytellers called them 10 bright burning creatures who lived together far away in the east, in the branches of a great mulberry tree that grew at the edge of the world, where the sky meets the sea. Picture that tree for a moment. before any trouble comes. It was a vast and ancient mulberry, its roots deep in the warm eastern sea, its branches spread wide across the dawn, and in its leaves the 10 suns roosted like 10 sleeping birds of fire. Each night they slept there together, gathered and quiet, and each morning only one of them would wake and rise, and climb up into a chariot drawn across the whole arc of heaven, and travel slowly from the east to the west, warming the fields and ripening the grain and lighting the long day for all the world below. Then, at evening, that one sun would come down in the west and make its way home through the dark, and another would take its turn the next day, and so on, one by one, each in its proper order. It was a good arrangement, and for a long age it held. One sun a day, gentle and golden, just enough warmth and just enough light, and the world below grew green and full beneath it. The rice grew in the paddies, the rivers ran clear, the people lived in their villages and worked their fields and slept their nights, and the single daily sun watched over all of it, kind and steady, the way a single sun should. Stay a while in that good time before anything goes wrong, because it is a peaceful place to rest. Picture the world as it was then, green and easy under its one sun. In the early mornings, a soft mist lay along the rivers, and the single sun rose gently in the east and burned the mist away. And the day grew warm, but never too warm. The farmers walked out into their fields in the cool of the morning, and the water in the paddies caught the light, and the rice stood tall and green and rippled when the wind moved over it. In the evenings, the one sun went down red and gold in the west, and the people came home, and the cooking fires sent up their thin blue smoke, and the children were called in, and the night came down soft and full of stars. Day after day, that gentle rhythm, one sun rising and one sun setting, the world turning easily through its seasons, asking nothing, troubled by nothing. Let that good time hold you a moment, the memory of a world that was simply, quietly well. But the 10 suns were young, the old teller said, and like all young things, they grew restless with doing the same thing in the same order, day after day after day. One waiting, then rising, then resting, then waiting again. And one morning, far away in the branches of the great mulberry tree, the 10 suns looked at one another and thought how much more fun it would be, how much brighter and grander if they all rose together, if they all climbed into the sky at once and crossed the heavens side by side, 10 golden birds blazing across the blue, instead of one lonely sun making the long trip alone. It was not cruelty, it was only the thoughtlessness of bright young things who did not understand what their own brightness could do. They had never seen the world below grow weary under their heat, because they had only ever shone one at a time. They did not know their own strength, the way young things so often do not. They thought only of how splendid it would be, all 10 of them together, a great blaze of glory across the morning sky, and they laughed at the thought of it, and they could not wait. And so, one terrible morning, instead of one sun rising in the east, all 10 of them rose together. Stay easy as I tell you what happened, because the trouble in this part is only there so the rescue can feel as good as it does, and the rescue is coming, and the one who brings it is already on his way. But for now, imagine it, 10 suns climbing into the sky at once, 10 times the heat, 10 times the burning light, all of it pouring down on the green world below. The 10 suns climbed higher, all together, blazing, and the world beneath them began to suffer. At first, it was only very bright and very warm, the kind of warmth that makes you seek the shade. But the suns kept climbing, all 10 of them, and the warmth became a heat, and the heat became a burning. The rice in the paddies, which had stood so green, began to wither and turn brown and dry to brittle straw. The rivers, which had run so clear, began to shrink back from their banks, growing shallow, growing warm, and then beginning, in the worst places, to dry away to cracked mud and bare stone. The wells went dry, the wild grass crisped and browned across the hills. The forests grew tender dry, and the leaves curled on the trees. The people came out of their houses and looked up, shielding their eyes, and they could not understand it. 10 suns where there had only ever been one. The whole sky a furnace. There was nowhere to go to be cool. The shade under the trees was hot. The water in the jars was hot. The very stones of the houses grew too hot to touch, and the people gathered in whatever cool corners they could find and waited, parched and frightened, for the long, blazing day to end. But even the night brought little relief, for the ground had soaked up so much heat that it gave it back slowly through the dark, and the next morning the 10 suns rose again, and it was worse. I tell you this gently, and I will not linger in it, because it is the dark and difficult turn of the story, and the dark turn is only there so that the long calm afterward can feel as deep and as sweet as it does. The people suffered, the crops failed, the land grew brown and cracked and weary under the merciless brightness, and the people did the only thing left to them. They lifted their faces to the burning sky, and they prayed. And they cried out for someone to help them, for someone strong enough and skilled enough to do something about the 10 suns that were burning the world away. And it was not only the people who suffered, the old tellers said. The whole green world that Pangu and the makers of old had shaped grew weary under the 10 suns. The wild creatures crept into whatever shade they could find and lay still, panting through the long, bright days. The fish drew down into the deepest, cool pools that remained. The birds fell silent in the dry trees. It was as though the whole living earth had drawn in upon itself and was waiting, holding its breath, hoping only to last until the burning passed, and nothing in the world below was strong enough to do anything about it. For the trouble was not on the earth, but high up in the sky, where no person and no creature could reach. And far above, the old teller said, in the high courts of heaven, someone heard them. The great Lord of the sky looked down on the scorched and suffering earth. And he saw the withered fields and the drying rivers and the frightened people with their faces lifted up. And he was moved, and he knew there was one among the immortals who might set it right. A mighty archer, the finest bowman in all of heaven, whose aim never wavered and whose arrows never missed. And the Lord of the sky called for that archer and gave him a bow and sent him down to the burning world below. His name was Houyi, and he was coming now to help, so you can let go of the suffering in this part. Help is on the way. It is already on its way, drawing nearer with every word, and the one who comes is exactly strong enough for the task. Houyi came down from heaven to the scorched earth, and he was a sight to give the frightened people hope. He was tall and broad in the shoulder, and there was a great steadiness in him, the calm of one who has never once doubted his own hands. He did not come in a rush or in a fury, the way you might expect of someone sent to do battle with the sky. He came calmly, walking, looking up at the burning heavens with clear and untroubled eyes. The way a master craftsman looks at a difficult piece of work, seeing not how hard it is, but only how it is to be done. Across his back he carried a bow, a great red bow given to him by the Lord of the Sky himself, and at his hip he carried a quiver of white arrows, also a gift from heaven, each one fletched and balanced perfectly, each one made to fly true. And when the people saw him walking among them, this calm, strong stranger with the bow of heaven on his back, something in them eased, the way you ease a little when help finally arrives, even before the help has done anything at all. For Houyi did not come alone to the earth. There was someone with him, someone who would matter very much to this story, and to the long silver quiet at the end of it. His wife had come down with him, and her name was Chang'e. She was, the old tellers said, the most beautiful of the immortals, graceful and gentle and quiet, with a stillness about her like the stillness of deep water or of moonlight on a calm sea. She loved Houyi, and he loved her, and they had come down together from heaven to the troubled earth. And now she stood among the people and watched as her husband looked up at the burning sky and made ready to do the thing he had been sent to do. Houyi walked out into the open, away from the houses, to a place where he could see the whole wide blazing sky. He looked up at the 10 suns, the 10 golden birds burning side by side across the heavens, scorching the world beneath them. And he understood at once what had to be done, and he did not flinch from it. He set his feet. He took the great red bow down from his back. He drew a single white arrow from the quiver at his hip, and he stood there, calm and certain, the finest archer in all of heaven, beneath the 10 suns that were burning the world away. Feel the steadiness of him for a moment, because there is rest in it. There is a deep calm in watching someone who knows exactly what they are doing, who is not afraid, who is equal to the thing in front of them. You may have felt it yourself, that easing. When someone capable takes a heavy thing out of your hands and says quietly, "I have this now," you do not have to hold it anymore. You can let your own arms come down. That is the feeling here, spread out across a whole frightened world. The archer has come. He has this now. No one watching has to do anything but watch. The people gathered behind him, hardly daring to breathe. Chang'e watched, quiet and proud, and Houyi, in no hurry, with the sure, unhurried movements of a master at his craft, raised the great bow and fitted the white arrow to the string, and began slowly to draw. Houyi drew the bowstring back, smooth and slow and full, until the great red bow was bent like the curve of the new moon, and he sighted along the white arrow at the first of the 10 suns. And then, with a breath, he let it fly. The arrow flew up, straight and true, a white streak against the blazing sky, climbing and climbing, and it struck one of the 10 suns dead in its burning heart. And the old tellers said that there was a great soft burst of golden fire, and the sun cracked and went dark, and out of it tumbled, falling down through the sky, a great golden bird with a single black feather drifting after it. One of the 10 sunbirds struck down, and where there had been 10 suns burning, now there were 9. And at once the world felt it. The smallest easing, the faintest cooling, but the people felt it, and a murmur went through them. It was working. Houyi reached back to his quiver and drew another white arrow, and set his feet again, and raised the bow again, and drew, and sighted, and loosed. And another arrow flew up true into the blazing sky, And another sun burst into soft golden fire and went dark. And another golden bird came tumbling down. And now there were 8. Let yourself settle into the steady rhythm of it now, because there is something deeply restful in this part, in the calm and even repetition of a master at his work. Draw and sight and breathe and loose. Draw and sight and breathe and loose. One arrow, one sun, again and again, unhurried, certain, each shot exactly like the last. Houyi did not rush. He did not strain. He stood in the cooling air and worked his way across the sky, one sun at a time. The way you might count yourself down toward sleep, slow and steady and sure. You can let that rhythm be your own rhythm now, if you like. The slow draw of the breath in, like the bowstring drawn back. The held stillness at the top, and then the long, easy breath out, like the arrow loosed, soft, and complete. In and held and out. In and held and out. There is no hurry in it. There is nothing to aim at, nothing to accomplish. Just the steady going of the breath, in and out, like the steady going of the archer's work. Each one the same as the last, carrying you a little deeper down toward sleep with every slow repetition. The third sun went dark, and there were 7. The fourth, and there were 6. With each one, the sky grew a little less fierce, and the terrible white heat softened toward gold, and the people behind him lifted their faces and felt, for the first time in many days, something like a cool breath of relief. The 5th sun fell, and there were 5. The 6th, and there were 4. The light was growing kind again. The burning was passing. Houyi stood steady through all of it, drawing and sighting and loosing, and one by one, the suns that had scorched the world came down out of the sky in soft bursts of golden fire. And as the suns came down one by one, the world below began, slowly, to come back to life. With each sun that went dark, the terrible heat lifted a little more, and a coolness crept back into the air, and the people felt it on their skin, like the first touch of evening after a scorching day. The withered grass did not green again all at once, of course, and the dry rivers did not fill in a moment, but the burning had stopped climbing. The worst was passing, and there is a particular sweetness in that turning point, in the moment when a long bad thing finally begins to ease, when you feel for the first time that it is going to be all right after all. The people felt it, standing behind the archer, watching the suns come down. The fever of the world was breaking. The 7th sun fell, and there were 3. The 8th, and there were 2. And the air over the brown and weary land grew cool and soft and golden, the way the air goes at the gentle end of a summer day. Houyi reached back and drew an arrow for the 9th sun, and set his feet and raised the bow. And just as Houyi drew his bow for the 9th time, someone among the watching people had the wisdom to stop him. For think what would have happened, the old teller said, if Houyi had been left to his work uninterrupted. He would have shot down all 10 suns, every last one, and then the sky would have been left dark and cold, with no sun at all, and the world that had been burning would have frozen instead. And the crops that had withered in the heat would have died now in the endless dark and cold. The world did not need no suns. The world needed exactly one sun, the way it had always been, gentle and golden, rising in the east and setting in the west, one at a time. So, as Houyi raised his bow for the last shot, a wise voice called out to him to stop, to leave the final sun alive. And Houyi, calm and clear-headed even in the middle of his great deed, understood at once and lowered his bow and let the last sun be. Some of the old tellers said it was the people who cried out to him. Some said the Lord of Heaven himself, or a wise minister, quietly removed a single arrow from Houyi's quiver while he worked, so that when he reached for the 10th, there would be none left, and the last son would be spared whether he willed it or not. However it happened, the ending was the same. 9 sons fell and 1 remained, and that one son, the last of the 10, climbed up alone into the cooling sky, just as a single sun should, and crossed the heavens slowly from the east to the west, gentle and golden and warm, lighting the world without burning it. The brown hills waited to grow green again. The shrunken rivers waited to fill. The cracked fields waited for the rain that would surely come, now that the terrible heat had passed. The world had been saved, not destroyed, brought back from the edge of burning and set right again under one kind sun. And the people wept with relief and gladness and lifted up the name of Houyi, the archer, who had saved them all. And in the days that followed, the old tellers said, the world healed itself the way a green world does when it is only given the chance. The rains came at last, soft and steady, falling on the cracked brown fields, and the earth drank them in. The rivers filled again and ran clear and cool between their banks. The wild grass pushed up green on the hills, and the withered trees put out new leaves, and the birds came back to them and began again to sing. The farmers walked out into their fields and found the soil dark and wet and ready, and they planted, and the rice came up green in the paddies as it always had, rippling in the wind under the one gentle sun. Within a season or two, it was as though the burning had been only a bad dream, a thing that had happened once and was over. And the world was simply well again, green and easy and kind. He had done a great thing, perhaps the greatest thing anyone had ever done. He had stood beneath 10 burning suns and shot down 9 of them and left the one that the world needed. And he had given the green earth back to the people who lived on it, and they loved him for it and honored him, and he became the most celebrated hero in all the land, the archer who saved the world, walking among grateful people with his beautiful wife Chang'e at his side, in a world grown cool and kind again beneath its single gentle sun. Let that gladness settle over you now, soft and warm. The danger has passed. The world is saved. The fields will green again. The rivers will fill again. The rains will come. There is one sun in the sky now, exactly as there should be, and it is enough. Everything that was wrong has been set right. You can rest in that. You can let the relief of it spread through you, all the way down, the way the people below felt the cool air return. Now, the old tellers said, because Houyi had done so great a service to the world, he was given a great reward. And here the story turns, very gently, from the bright deed of the day toward the soft silver quiet of the night. And thanks for saving the world, Houyi was given, by one of the great powers of heaven, a precious and wondrous thing. It was the elixir of immortality, a draught, the old teller said, that had been ground and brewed with great care over a long time, of rare and secret things, and held within it a marvelous power. Whoever drank the whole of it would not merely live a long life, but would become immortal, deathless, and rise up to dwell forever among the gods in heaven. And whoever drank half of it would live forever too, but would remain here below, on the green earth, deathless and ageless among the things they loved. Houyi took the elixir home, and he thought about it, and he was of two minds. For Houyi had been an immortal once, up in heaven, before he came down to do his great deed, and there was a part of him that longed to return to heaven and live forever among the gods. But there was a larger part of him by now that did not, for he had come to love the green earth, and more than the earth he loved Chang'e, his gentle life, and he could not imagine drinking the whole elixir and rising up to heaven alone, leaving her behind to grow old and to die without him. Nor could he bear to leave her by drinking nothing at all and growing old and dying himself and leaving her alone. To drink it and go was unthinkable. To let it sit and lose her to the slow passing of years was unthinkable too. There seemed to be no way through it that did not cost him the one thing he could not bear to lose, which was simply to remain always at her side. So he did not drink it, not yet. He thought, perhaps, that one day he and Chang'e might each drink half of it together, and so the two of them might live forever, side by side, here on the earth they loved, neither one ever leaving the other. And until that day, he kept the elixir safe. He hid it away in his home, in a quiet place, and he did not drink it. And he meant to keep it until the right time came. And he told Chang'e about it, and she knew where it was hidden. And the two of them lived on together, happy, with the marvelous draft waiting quietly in its hiding place for a day that had not yet come. Think of how they lived in those days, the archer and his wife. In the world he had saved, they had a quiet home, in the green earth all around them, growing well again, and the love between them, easy and deep and sure. In the evenings, they would sit together as the one sun went down in the west, and they would watch the first stars come out, and they would not need to say very much, the way people do not need to say very much when they have been together a long time and are happy. And somewhere in the house, in its quiet hiding place, the elixir waited, the strange, marvelous draft that could carry one of them up to heaven forever and leave the other behind. And Houyi, every time he thought of it, thought the same thing. Not yet, not without her. There was no glory in heaven worth a single ordinary evening spent here beside her, watching the stars come out. So he let it wait, and he was glad, in those days, simply to be where he was. There is a tenderness in that, in the choosing not to drink, in the wanting to stay. Houyi could have had heaven and eternal glory, and he set it aside, because what he wanted more was simply to stay where he was, beside the one he loved, in the world he had saved. Let that tenderness be in the room with you now, soft as moonlight. Sometimes the greatest thing is not to rise up to heaven, but to stay quietly with what you love. And the elixir waited in its hiding place, and the days passed, gentle and golden, under the one kind sun. The old tellers told what happened next in more than one way, and all of the ways are gentle, and I will tell it to you softly, because it is the parting, and the parting in this story is not a cruel thing, but a quiet and tender one, like a candle carried slowly into another room. One day, when Houyi was away from home, the elixir came out of its hiding place, and Chang'e drank it. Some of the old tellers said that someone had come while Houyi was gone, who wished to steal the precious elixir for himself, and that Chang'e, to keep it safe, to keep it out of unworthy hands, swallowed the whole draft herself rather than let it be taken. Some said she drank it without quite meaning to, or out of a longing she did not fully understand, a wish to know what it was to be immortal again. Some told it more sadly, and some more sweetly. but in every telling the thing itself was the same. Chang'e drank the elixir, the whole of it, all at once, and because she had drunk the whole draught and not the half, the old teller said, she did not stay upon the earth. The marvelous power of it filled her, light as breath, lighter than air, and she felt her own weight leaving her. Her feet lifted from the floor. Gently, without fear, without falling, she began to rise. She drifted up through the open window into the evening air, up above the roof of her house, up above the trees, up above the hills, rising slowly and softly into the darkening sky like a feather lifted on a warm and rising wind. Imagine how quiet that rising was. Not a violent thing, not a frightening thing, just a slow and weightless lifting up into the cool night air. The earth falling away gently below her, the first stars coming out around her, the dark blue sky opening above. There was no struggle in it, the old teller said, and no fear. It was the way you might imagine your own self rising, in the lightest and softest of dreams, lifting up off the bed and drifting out through the window into the warm night, looking down without alarm at the small lit houses and the dark fields and the silver rivers far below. Weightless, held by the air itself, floating up and up into the soft, enormous quiet of the sky. Chang'e rose and rose, and the green world she loved grew small and far beneath her. And she might have risen all the way to heaven, all the way to the high courts of the gods. But the old teller said that she did not wish to go so far. She did not want to leave Houyi so completely, to rise all the way up into heaven and be utterly beyond his sight. So she stopped at the nearest of the heavenly places to the earth, the closest and the kindest, the one from which she could still look down and see the green world and the man she loved. She stopped at the moon, and so Chang'e came to live upon the moon in a pale silver palace, the old teller said, in a quiet kingdom of soft, cool light. And below her, on the earth, Houyi came home, and found the elixir gone, and found his gentle wife gone, and looked up, and saw the moon shining full and bright that night, brighter and clearer than he had ever seen it. And somehow he knew she was there. And he stood in the dark, looking up at the moon, and far above, on the moon, Chang'e stood looking down at the earth, and across all that silver distance, the two of them gazed at one another, parted, but still in sight, still able to look and to be looked at, every night, forever. Let the gentleness of that hold you now. They were not torn apart into nothing. They were only set a little distance from one another, close enough still to see. He on the earth, looking up, she on the moon, looking down, and the soft light between them every night, carrying their gaze back and forth across the dark. There is a kind of comfort in that, even in the sadness of it. Not every parting is a vanishing. Sometimes the ones we are parted from are only set a little way off, still within sight, still able to be remembered, still able, in some quiet way, to watch over us. The moon did not take Chang'e away forever into some place beyond all reaching. It set her where Houyi could find her every single night, simply by lifting his eyes. And in all the long years that followed, that was what he did. Whatever the day had held, however far his work had taken him, when the night came he would look up and the moon would be there, and she would be in it, and he would not feel entirely alone. The distance was real, but so was the looking, and the looking never stopped. So Chang'e went to live upon the moon, and you might think it would be lonely there, in that pale silver kingdom, so far from the warm green earth. But she was not entirely alone. the old teller said, for there was someone already there to keep her company, and that someone is the gentlest creature in all this gentle story. There was a rabbit on the moon, a small white rabbit, the jade rabbit, pale and soft and quiet, who lived there in the silver light. And beside the jade rabbit there grew a tree, an osmanthus tree, the old teller said, sweet-smelling and ever-flowering, casting its soft shadow across the moonlit ground. And the jade rabbit, in the long silver quiet, sat beneath that tree with a little mortar and pestle, patiently grinding, hour after hour, night after night, the rare herbs and the secret things from which the elixir of immortality is made, forever grinding, gently and tirelessly, in the cool light. The small white rabbit kept its patient, endless work, and kept Chang'e company, so that she would not be alone in her silver palace among the stars. Picture the two of them there now, as you grow heavy and warm and ready for sleep. The moon, pale and full and quiet, hanging in the dark. The silver palace, soft and cool. The sweet osmanthus tree in flower, its blossoms glowing faintly in the moonlight. And beneath it, the small white jade rabbit, gently grinding. The soft, slow rhythm of the pestle going on and on, like a quiet heartbeat in the stillness. And Chang'e, beautiful and serene, standing at the edge of her silver kingdom, looking down through the dark at the green earth turning far below. It is a peaceful place, that moon, for all that it is far from home. There is no heat there, and no burning, and no hurry. The light is always soft. The osmanthus is always in flower, sweet and faint on the cool air. The jade rabbit is always there, patient and gentle, never tiring of its quiet work. The small, steady sound of the pestle, the only sound in all that silver stillness. And the earth hangs below, blue and green and beautiful, turning slowly through its days and nights, so that Chang'e can watch the seasons change upon it, the green of spring and the gold of autumn, the rivers shining, the small lights of the villages coming on at dusk. She is far away, but she is not cut off. She can see it all. She can see the man she loves moving through his days far below, and she can watch over him, the way the moon watches over everything that sleeps. And on the earth, the old teller said, Houyi never forgot her. He lived out his days below, the great archer who saved the world, and every night he would look up at the moon and find her there. And some say that on the night when the moon is fullest and brightest and closest, the night in the middle of autumn when the moon is most beautiful of all, he would set out in the moonlight the things she had loved, the round, sweet cakes and the fruits of the season, a quiet offering laid out under the open sky, a way of saying, across all that silver distance, I remember you, I see you still, I have not let you go. And far above, on the moon, Chang'e looked down and saw and knew and was not alone. There is a tenderness in those quiet offerings laid out under the moonlight, in a love that did not fade with the years, but only deepened into a gentle, faithful habit, a turning of the face toward the moon each night, the way a flower turns toward the sun. He never had her back. The distance was never closed, but neither was the bond ever broken, and there is a quiet kind of peace in that, the peace of a love that simply goes on, steady and undemanding, across whatever distance it must, asking only to remember and to be remembered. And that, the old teller said, is why the moon looks the way it looks, soft and far and a little wistful and very kind. That is why, when you look up at it on a clear night, it seems to be looking back, gently, The way someone looks who loves you and is far away. There is a woman there, looking down. There is a small white rabbit there, patiently grinding beneath a sweet flowering tree. And there was a love that was not broken, but only stretched across a little distance. A gaze that crosses the dark every single night and has never once stopped, all this long time. So let the moon watch over you now, as it watches over the whole sleeping earth. As Chang'e watches from her silver kingdom, and the jade rabbit keeps its patient, quiet work, you are held in that soft light, the same light that has fallen on every sleeping face for longer than anyone can say. There is no scorching sun tonight, only the one kind moon. There is nothing left to do, nothing to save, nothing to keep safe. The world was burning once, and it was made cool and green again, long ago. And all of that is finished, and all of it is at rest, and so now may you be. Let your breath grow slow and soft. Let your body grow heavy and still. Let the silver light fill the room around you, gentle and cool and kind. The archer rests below. The lady watches above. The rabbit grinds its quiet herbs beneath the sweet osmanthus tree, on and on, soft as your own slowing breath. And you are sinking now, down past the last thin edge of waking, into the warm and quiet dark, while the moon keeps its long, faithful watch over all of it, over the whole sleeping world, over you. Sleep now. The moon is bright. You are watched over. Good night.